Hi everyone, it's Mike with Crane Realty. Today's topic, I wanted to discuss with you being transparent with your mortgage loan officer. For a lot of different people, communicating with a lender, you basically provide some W-2, some tax information, and as long as you're all set, you get a pre-qualification letter, and then you go house hunting essentially. So you know exactly where your max loan is, you know what your down payment is, you know what your loan type is. Those are all really important elements to have, especially as it pertains to the home search part of the process. But with regard to being really transparent with your loan officer is there to essentially evaluate your financial credibilities. And once they do that, they'll be able to determine where exactly they can give a max loan, what the loan type is, and all of that information like I discussed earlier. But for a lot of buyers, they don't consider what happens during that time of looking and even being under contract and then getting through to closing, which uh, tends to not necessarily be a really short period of time. Sometimes it's upwards of 2 months, possibly even longer, depending on the circumstances. And if that's the case, there's a long period of time where, for a lot of different buyers, if they're not aware of it, tend to make different decisions that could directly impact their financial credibilities that will in turn impact the way that the pre-qualification letter is currently written and now has to be reworked. It might end up changing the loan type itself, which if you're under contract and you're going from a conventional but you can't do that anymore and now you're sliding into an FHA, that could be detrimental to the property or the contract that you have with the seller. You're essentially changing the terms and you could certainly lose the property at that point. So what are those pitfalls that buyers aren't really aware of when it comes to being transparent with their loan officer? Because a lot of times when I have these conversations, they're not really even aware that they're doing something that could directly impact them in a negative way. For a lot of people, they work a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. They get the same paycheck, every week or every 2 weeks, whatever that billing cycle is, and nothing really changes. But for others, if you're looking for a career change, you're looking to be in a different industry, you're looking to, let's say if you're self-employed and you're making different investments, either increasing your portfolio or decreasing it for different financial advantageous moves that you're about to make, that could have direct impacts with regard to how the loan officer at that point in time got you pre-qualified, because again, it was based off of a certain financial level of credibility that you had is now being shifted, and then they have to reevaluate everything. It might flop that it's going to be the same outcome. Perhaps it's going to be a better situation. Perhaps it's going to be different. I know for my wife and I, going back almost 10 years ago when we were looking to buy our house, the situation was that I wasn't, and my wife too, weren't allowed to change our jobs and change the industries that we were working in. And for myself, being fresh out of college and picking up my first job, just like I'm sure for a lot of you, weren't necessarily in love with the very first job that they found, but I had to stick with it and not change until we purchased the house. And after we closed, couldn't change that, again, that different career move or what have you. Another area where people don't necessarily think about their financial credibilities in a certain way when being transparent with the loan officer is with regard to money. A lot of times I'll have buyers say, yes, I have money. But money means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. If I were to just hear somebody say, yep, I have money, now I know for sure that I need to kind of vet that question a little bit further. How liquid is it? Is it readily available? Can you write a check today? Do you even have a checkbook? Is it basically spread in a multitude of different areas where you're saying it's money, but it's actually put into Bitcoin, it's put into precious metals, it's put into an asset or something that you're planning on selling. A number of different buyers actually, when they say that they have money, they actually mean it's coming from somebody else, either a loved one, a family member, or what have you. Or they're saying, I will have money. When they say I have money, they say I actually will have the money. Those are two obviously very different things. So if you're planning on, let's say, a litigation suit to come to the end of its term and then you'll be reimbursed whatever amount, we can't guarantee when those funds are going to be here. It's not money that's readily available in hand. It's not funds that we can actually consider using with regard to getting pre-qualified, using as a down payment, using as your earnest money deposit. I know for a number of different buyers too, bringing in family members that they're going to provide as a gift or what have you, it's really important to share all of this information with your loan officer. Just say, hey, when I get my paycheck, this is what I do with it. I diversify it into some sort of other form of financing. And that's what I primarily like to do with my money. Instead of just saying I have money, or, this is, the paychecks that I've been receiving, and you're not showing a bank statement, which otherwise that Bitcoin and everything would have been placed there instead of allocated to these other areas. It's very important for your loan officer to see the whole picture and for you to communicate what exactly you're planning on doing. Is that a career change? Is that money in different forms or what have you? So be very transparent, could save your transaction. So just want to really emphasize that. If this video is all helpful to you, feel free to give it a thumbs up. And if you like this content, feel free to hit the subscribe button, where we'll be producing new content. And as we roll it out, it'll actually pop up on your YouTube feed. If you have any questions, feel free to give the number below a call. Thanks everyone. I'm Mike with Crane Realty, and have a great day.